Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever times you guys are watching from. Welcome to Beyond the Shoot. Mike Heenan here, bringing you on another episode of Back to School Raw Edition. Tonight's Raw opens up with Kurt Angle. He comes down, starts talking about Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, hyping up the match. But he states the fact that once again, Brock Lesnar is not coming out on tonight's Raw. Crowd gets upset, starts booing, starts chanting, and Angle can't do nothing but take it. So out comes Roman Reigns. Comes out to the ring we are. Starts stating the fact that it's disrespectful to the fans, disrespectful to him, disrespectful to everybody. And states the fact that he's not upset at Angle, he's not upset at anybody else but Vince McMahon. This itself gets a B+. When Roman talks and Roman shoots, it's gold. When he's given lines, when he's fed lines and starts joking and starts laughing, that's not the Roman we want to see. We want to see this Roman. It's been 2-3 times that he's done shoots like this and it fits perfectly. So we go back, he starts talking and Vince McMahon is disrespecting him, that he busts his ass for his company and he's gonna confront him. Walks down the stage, walks to the back, you see the production, it makes it look real. Gets in McMahon's face. So McMahon takes him to the office and cuts for commercial, tells him, go to commercial. Back to commercial, and Renee Young tries to go and get the scoop of what's going on. Out comes Roman storming out of the office and just walks straight past Renee Young. So out comes McMahon and states the fact that yes, Brock Lesnar gets privileges, but he's earned them. And the fact that Roman is talking, he needs to shut up, and he brings up The Rock and he brings up the family heritage, and it's pretty funny, but he says that Brock will be at Raw. Awesome, we finally get to see Roman versus Brock at next week on Raw, and he states when he's leaving, Roman is suspended. Next up, we have Sasha Banks versus Absolution's Sonya Deville. Sasha Banks comes out, her music plays, and Bayley's walking behind her, kind of showing her support, and straight off the bat, I give this a C+. The match was decent. It wasn't a great match, it wasn't even a good match, it was a decent match. This was meant to tell the story of Bayley and Sasha. This had nothing to do with Absolution, had nothing to do with Sonya Deville, had nothing to do with the match in general. It was more of what was Bayley gonna do, what was Sasha gonna do. So of course, they're resting the match. Like I said, it's a decent match. And Mandy Rose about to interfere, so what does Bayley do? Comes and pulls her and allows Sasha to get the victory. Okay, so she walks away right after that. What is Absolution known for? Coming into ring and just using their advantage to one person. And Bayley is nowhere to be seen. She let Sasha get the beating. Absolution showed that they were strong, and we're waiting to see what happens with Bayley. Next segment, we have Miz TV. This was an A, straight A. Miz on the mic is gold. He is the best talker in WWE. The best talker in the history of WWE. Here's The Rock, here's The Miz. This segment was funny. Miz made it funny. He was trying to get Rollins to bash on Balor and Balor to bash on Rollins, and having those two performers in the ring together with somebody like Miz that can talk, straight gold. Rollins cheap shots Balor, which sets up the match for later on in the show. Next segment, we have The Bar versus Mr. Raj, which was meant to be a match. Revival comes down, starts beating him up. Nope. Titus Worldwide comes down. Rhino and Heath Slater comes down. The club comes down. It's a big brawl. They're all trying to beat on Sheamus and Cesaro, which is their fault because they put on Twitter it's an open challenge. So everybody wants to take advantage of that open challenge. Back from commercial, and once again, John Cena is back on Raw. Goes from Raw to SmackDown, Raw to SmackDown. This dude's desperate. It's funny, entertaining, but desperate. It's a sore sight to see with John Cena. But this was a phenomenal segment. This gets an A. Cena playing to the crowd, chanting, making them chant, Roman sucks, Cena sucks. Just being a fan and just kind of letting loose. It kind of felt like we were seeing an authentic John Cena, not a robot John Cena. Goes down to the crowd, drinks a beer with the fan, and everything's all jokes and laughs. And he gets in the ring and then calls out Undertaker. It went from jokes to laughs to realness to straight calling somebody out. Next match, we have Rollins versus Balor. Straight off the bat, B+. The names itself, B+. two of the best wrestlers in WWE going at each other without having to be a pay-per-view, I'm excited. The match did start off slow. It was slow-paced. I understand why. It's not a pay-per-view match. It's not a pay-per-view caliber. It had nothing to. They were just fighting a fight. There was nothing behind it. So obviously they're not going to show what they have. Little slow-paced, little hard-hitting, little breaks here and there. The last 5-10 minutes, straight up, it showed what these two are capable of. Going back and forth, back and forth. They're so much alike. Their sling blade is so similar. Their stomps, their suplexes. When they wrestle, I'm fascinated. So I get why it was slow paced. I get why they had to build it up. But I truly cannot wait for this match at WrestleMania. Next up, we have Asuka on the mic discussing why she chose Charlotte. So out comes Alexa Bliss. And on a side note, for some reason, Mickie James is with her. No idea why. No idea what happened. One week she went from Team Sasha to Team Alexa. But I guess when you're a veteran, you can do stuff like that. So out comes Alexa Bliss and starts making fun of her accent. And in my opinion, she's right. Let Asuka's fighting do the talking. Alexa Bliss starts stating that she chose Charlotte because she's scared to fight her. And she chose the weakest champion. And Asuka's like, no, I chose her because to beat the woman, you gotta beat the woman. A la Ric Flair. So Alexa Bliss goes on and on how she's better, how she's a better performer, better wrestler, better champion. So what does Asuka do? Challenge her to a match. Asuka wants to fight. So what does Alexa Bliss do? She tries to summon Nia Jax. She says, this woman right here. Nobody comes out. Once again, this woman right here. Nobody comes out. Foreshadowing. So what does Mickie James do? She attacks Asuka, which is going to set up the match of Asuka versus Mickie James. So we come back from commercial and it's Asuka versus Mickie James. The match itself was a C-. It wasn't really much of a match because we knew who was going to win. The match they had tonight was nowhere near the caliber that they had at NXT, which brought back Mickie James, hence the C- that I gave. So the match is over, we go backstage to Nia Jax, and Alexa Bliss comes in, and once again starts demeaning her, starts telling her, you could do better for yourself, where were you, I needed you, I love you, this is tough love. And what does Nia Jax do? She falls for it. She's like, oh, I love you too, Bliss. And so Nia Jax tells her the reason she couldn't go on Halper was because Angle put her in a match, which was a squash match. And I give that squash match an A. Match was over. We're waiting for Nia Jax to walk down the ramp backstage, and they left the boom mic on backstage while Alexa Bliss and Mickie James were talking. So Nia Jax looks up at the screen and Alexa Bliss starts saying, I used her, I'm embarrassed to be with her. They start poking fun of her, which WWE pushed it here. And I'm surprised they did that. This body shaming thing is an issue, and then they're poking that button. But it shows a lot on Nia Jax's character to allow this to happen. This potentially sets up a WrestleMania match of Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss, and with Nia Jax being the babyface and most likely winning. So overall, from the beginning to the end, this was an A+. It shined Alexa Bliss and it shined Nia Jax. What does WWE do? They show us a promo of the Hardy Compound, Final Deletion, Bray Wyatt versus Woken Matt Hardy. This overall is still a C. It's fun seeing Bray and Hardy go at it. It's fun seeing Hardy in general. It's funny seeing him the way he acts. It's pretty intriguing seeing the family. They're bringing the family back in, and that's gonna push Hardy. But what is this doing for Bray? It was a WrestleMania match that got moved to Raw. What does that tell you? Main event of Raw, tag team Royal Rumble. I personally have never seen a tag team Royal Rumble, so I was pretty much intrigued. I was kind of hoping for a surprise entrant. I was hoping for NXT or free agents, and it wasn't quite like that. This overall was a C. Besides the Bar, everybody else are jobbers. Even the Bar stated they want to go to SmackDown. They want to face Usos. They want to face Bludgeon Brothers. They want to face New Day. They even want to face Breezango. This was just horrible booking. It was confusing. It's a tag team match, and I get Strowman's supposed to be a monster, and he wins. So let's say he faces Cesaro and Sheamus alone at WrestleMania. What happens then? He loses and he's not made to be a monster, or he wins and it completely buries Cesaro and Sheamus. It's a lose-lose. This is just forcing Strowman to be on the card. They have to figure something else to fix this confusion or make it entertaining, because this was just beyond horrible. Overall, Raw deserves a C+. It wasn't as entertaining. It hasn't been as entertaining. Besides little segments here and there, I'm just not entertained. I'm not intrigued. I kind of want to just fast forward through it sometimes and not wait to see what happens. I personally hope next week it's better. It's going to be 3 weeks away from WrestleMania. Something has to happen to hyping the show up. But once again, guys, that was my opinion. Those are my grades. Let me know what you think. Click on the eye right here and give me your grade. Give me your opinions. Comment, subscribe, like down below. Comment with me. Talk with me. Become, like I said, become a community. Let's build this. Let's have arguments. Let's have opinions. I want to know what you guys think. Also, follow me on Twitter at MyKetoBTS. Converse with me. Give me your opinions there. We'll talk. We'll share. We'll communicate. School's done for the day. See you guys tomorrow on SmackDown.